GGRC.
Hey everybody, welcome to another QuickSave Review with me, RC, here on GGRC. Now, for those of you who do not know, a QuickSave Review is basically a combination of a review and a Let's Play, where I play a little bit of a game that I'm currently in progress of playing, and I give you my thoughts on it, because I don't really feel like you need to completely finish a game to give out a recommendation to somebody. Now, today we're going to be checking out A Medieval. Now, A Medieval is one of those newer games that is trying to be an older game. It's sort of in the forefront of all these new FPSs trying to be old school FPSs from the 90s, and A Medieval, I will say, is definitely successful at feeling like that. It has sort of gone the more like Hexen and Heretic fantasy realm type of, you know, it has that kind of feel to it, that kind of theme. But I will say that it actually, in gameplay, feels a little bit more like Quake, and we'll explore that here as we talk about the game. Just so you guys know, before I go into this, today we're only going to play through like maybe a map or two of the game just to give you an idea of how I'm feeling about the game and maybe something you'll be interested in. If you want to see more, I did a live Let's Play of this last Saturday where I played through the whole episodes 1 and 2, like from beginning to end. So if you want a little bit more of me playing this game, or a little bit more of what is in store for you with this game, go check those out, because I think that will give you a better idea, you know, in an episode scenario. Because believe it or not, this game is out now, and it has 7 full episodes in it. So I've only played through 2. We're going to touch on another one right now, but there's 7 altogether, which is crazy. It's a lot of game. So here we go. Let's check out the game, shall we? Alright, here we are. I introduce you to the world of Turok. At least that's how I felt when I first got in here. This looks a lot like N64 Turok, doesn't it? Very, very cool style here. I really like it. I especially like looking through the little window here and seeing like the trees or the bushes, whatever those are down there, kind of shifting around. There's a lot of great style to this game. I really like the style of it. It's just a very pretty game, I guess you could say. So, we've previously finished the first world, and we finished the second world, which was this portal over here. So we have now just opened, you can see that door that just opened there. We are now making our way into this new area. So you got portals all over the place. You got the Sacred Path portal. I believe now, after finishing the first 2, you could do these episodes out of order, I believe. That's at least what it looked like before. So we're just going to pick one and kind of go with it here. I could be wrong, though. Maybe that other one we saw over there really is the next one. This game, you're going to... Okay, yeah, there's one down the way here that we could go to as well. You're going to see a lot of these little glyphs on the wall that you can run up to and read. That'll actually be a part of the game. We'll get into that in just a second here. But this one says, our once sacred lands are now beacons of hate and darkness. So this game, I feel like it accomplishes feeling like an old school FPS game pretty well. What I am not the biggest fan of that it does carry on with is having a story that doesn't seem to really make any sense or have much value. It's very cryptic, and the story is definitely the thing that I care least about in this game. Now, I know, like I said, with 90s FPS, I mean, that's what you come to expect. You come to expect a story that's just like super throwaway, who cares, right? Make your own story. But I feel like it would have been nice for this game to have a little... It has so much potential to have a really cool story behind it, because so far, the first 2 episodes had completely different enemies with what seemed to be different stories, different bosses at the end of them, you know? Seemingly every episode so far has been 3 maps and then a boss battle at the end. So you get 3 maps, technically 4, and so each episode's like 1, 2, 3 boss every single time. We're gonna jump into this portal here, so let's go check it out. Woo! We are falling. Wow. Oh, and that popped us back up. Okay, very cool. All right, so we're grabbing our first weapon in this episode here, and we're gonna grab some mana there. So the one thing I will say that is super good about this game that I've liked so far, the level design. Level design in this game so far has been pretty top notch. all these cubes here. This is your green mana. You're going to collect that. You can see my mana down in the bottom right actually lurch up a bit as I collect these. And we're getting another weapon here already. Whoa! Completely different style enemy here. These are like lava monsters in this one. So previously we were fighting like moon monsters with lots of eyeballs. This time it seems like we're fighting lava monsters and ghosts. It's pretty interesting. So, where did you come from? That weapon we were just using right there is our rocket launcher. That's what the rocket launcher looks like in this game, which is pretty interesting. It's got a completely different look to it. And this level is very different from the other levels I have played so far. The other levels were very, like, castle-oriented. This is like, I feel like I have to kind of stay on a pathway here or I'm going to get hurt. I feel like if I touch that lava, that would not be a good thing to do. So this weapon that I'm using right now is not actually my favorite weapon of the weapons that are available. I think it's cool, I think it's clever, but it's not my favorite weapon to actually use. I'm hoping that I get my favorite one so I can show that off. Took that guy out pretty quick. There we go. Wow, he just exploded into a bunch of red pixels. Poor dude. So I want to talk about another one of the things that I'm not the biggest fan of in this game is the way the enemies work. They seemingly come out of nowhere sometimes, and they also seem to aggro from really, really far away in this game too. Oh, there we go. This is one of the things I love about this game, though. Sometimes you'll hit buttons and activate an animation. This brought all these rocks down, and I just love to watch those animations unfold when they happen in this game. It's just so cool to watch. They're very, very smooth, and it might partially be because everything else in this game sort of has like a slow, purposely made slow, like FPS style to it. Like if you look at the fire here, you can see that we're actually running at 60 frames per second here. But that fire is running in like an old, it looks like 1994, rendered piece of fire or something. It's really strange. And it really throws you off when you're playing in 60 frames per second in a game that that just came out, Okay, so we just brought this down. Where are we supposed to go from here? Let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, we just went down there. There's a way to go there. So let's go explore here. Grab all of these. All these little health modules here. Also, if you hit tab like in the old games, you can bring up, all of your different info here. You can see that we've gotten 11 out of 100 kills so far. 7 secrets to find. Those messages that I was talking about that you could find, I've gotten 1 out of 14 so far, but it does count up how many of those you're looking for, which is kind of cool. On top of that, it does count how long it's taking you to get through the level and everything else. So you can keep track of that stuff, which is kind of cool. Here's another message here, so we'll see that tick up to 2. There we go. And this one says 3 switches to reveal the key. Okay, so apparently we got to find 3 switches. There's the gold key. So I think we found 1 switch. We found 1 blue switch. There's another one there. But we got to unlock that switch. So the question is, how do we get into there? So let's head outside. Let's see if we can figure this out. There was a way to go. Ah! I saw an enemy running across here. Now you see how these enemies are just running from God knows where because they, I guess, figured out I'm here? I'm trying to figure out how that happens. Where are these guys coming from? How do they see me already? To me, that is just one of the strangest things of the game. Here we go. Here's a switch. There we go. And we got some more green mana here. I'm gonna go hit this blue switch real quick. Let's see what happens. 1 more to go. Those who are lost, never look upwards. Oh man, look at these guys. We had fire? Why is everything around our stuff turning green? I don't really know. Oh, you know what? I think it activated our soul mode without us knowing. Oh, here's another weapon. Sweet. Love to get these different weapons here. Let's grab that. Let me make sure that this is turned on. This is something I recommend you turn on if you plan to play this game. I don't want auto soul mode on. We were going to turn that off. So soul mode, if you look down in the bottom left where my health is at, when you collect soul from your enemies and from random drops around the level, you're going to collect soul. And when that meter fills up, you have the option of turning it on. Of course, you could turn it on to auto if you wanted to do its own thing. But basically, it gives you a, sort of a rapid fire. It's basically like the overpower ability of the game, which is really fun to use. There's some more mana there. They put a lot of little like jumping areas into this level here. I'm gonna see if our trident can actually hurt this guy here. There we go. More explosions, please. At any point, you can hit F5 and quick save as well, just like the old school games, which is kind of cool. And here's another message. The protectors cannot stand weapons of chaos. So, like I was saying before, I know a lot of people are saying that this game is very much like the return of Heretic or Hexen. Me personally, I feel like this plays a lot more like, almost like a Quake game, personally. And that might be because it's in 3D. That might be the whole reason why. But at the same time, you know, I don't think that that's a bad thing. It's almost like, you know, they sort of made an amalgamation of things. They pretty much took Quake and Turok and, you know, Hexen and threw it all together in a blender and created the game. And I think that's sort of what they went for here. There we go, we hit that button there. Now we can get the gold key. And I'm assuming there's going to be a ton of enemies here. Here we go. Now, I will say that considering the team decided to do seven different episodes, all 7 different episodes featuring different enemies, I almost kind of feel like they may have spread themselves a little too thin with the amount of content they had to create. Because I noticed that the enemies in the games, like, they're cool, but they leave a little bit to be desired, because a lot of them you don't end up learning enough about throughout the game to really, like, form some sort of a relationship with, if that makes sense. Hey, there's another message over there. So they're gonna hide messages all over the place, so you gotta run over here and grab this one. There we go. A lot of them are kind of nonsense messages as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I think that the enemies themselves, like, they look cool, they're crafted well, but they don't seem to really offer much in the way of, like, you know, if you play Quake or Doom, you form relationship with the enemies because you see them throughout the whole game. So, for example, you know, you remember the Pinky Demon, for instance. Oh, wow. That guy can just throw rocks. Oh, and I'm in here, and that's not good, and I can't get out? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. But yeah, the Pinky Demon, or like the Ogre from Quake, you know, that kind of thing. Lost Souls from Doom, stuff like that. You see them, you know what to do, or at least you end up learning what to do. In this game, you get, you know, 3 levels of learning what the different enemies do in an episode, and then you got to kind of restart, you know, your knowledge base when it comes to the enemies. So it's kind of interesting, because I don't think it's necessarily a bad approach, but it's weird in that every episode you're kind of starting from scratch, learning the bestiary all over again, and then learning how to deal with them completely differently. So you never really get to form any kind of a bond or relationship with the enemies. It's a little weird. Like I said, I don't think it's bad, but it's an interesting decision. I will say that this level is unlike any of the other levels I have played in this game so far. And I will say that this level, I am not the biggest fan of the design of it. These, like, really thin walkways and stuff. There we go. There's a key. Here's another message. Never been a fan of, like, you know, real closet combat like that, where you're walking along a real thin line, you know. There we go. We brought down the final brick there, which is great. And it looks like we can fall through here. Ah! Snuck up behind me. Jerks. Okay, I thought he was still going here. Overall, though, I will say that the first 2 episodes of this game I actually was having a lot of fun with. This episode seems to have, like, a completely different feel to it already. And maybe that's kind of what they're going for. They want different style of design with all the different enemies that come into the game. See that, how that enemy just, like, kind of came out of nowhere? Like, I wasn't in his line of sight. How did he know I was there? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that kind of bothers me a little bit. And this area is so tight. You know, this area where I was coming from is so tight to fight these enemies that, you know, I don't know how we're, you know, really supposed to be taking these guys on. Here's my favorite weapon right here. I love this staff thing here. This thing's great. I end up using this thing quite a bit. Alright, we're gonna head up here. Check that out. I love using this thing. It's great. I have noticed, though, that with certain enemies, that you do find that there are certain weapons that work better against one enemy rather, you know, versus another. Alright, we're gonna use our... There we go. See what the soul mode does? Look at that. Boom. Just, like, destroyed all of those guys. We are gonna pick up these health nuggets here, and we're gonna keep on going. Oh, I meant to grab that soul, but that did not work out, did it? Okay. So that was kind of a waste, but at least I got to show it off. Now, that soul mode actually works very differently for every different weapon. And I don't feel like I'm playing all that great tonight, to be quite honest. Alright, so that went down. This is going to lead us up here. And we got another button to hit, so let's hit it. There we go. See the animation? I love when they do that kind of stuff in this game. So cool. So I feel like with this game, I'm talking a lot of cons. I feel like there are more pros than cons with this. You know, I was talking about the bestiary thing where the enemies change, you know, with every episode. But with that, the pro side of that is that you're not going to get tired of fighting the same enemies for 7 episodes. They're changing it up. And look, you see how they open the wall like that and have the enemy jump at you? You're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff. Enemies jumping out from weird places to get at you. And it actually works really, really well. You know, they have a jump trigger in Quake for enemies to jump down at you. But you can tell it looks pretty hokey when the enemy jumps down at you. In this, oh man, look at this. You get the BFG. That, believe it or not, is a BFG. Not the biggest fan of the design of this weapon, by the way. This will, when you shoot it, it will take out a ton of enemies at once, just like the BFG. But I'm not the biggest fan of the way it looks. I think it looks real dumb. Here, let's see if we can use it up here. There you go. Shoot that. Boom. BFG. But that weapon design to me, it feels like I don't know what to do with this type of weapon design. That's what it looks like to me. Not the biggest fan of the way it looks. I'm sure that they've crafted some kind of lore or story for it, which is totally fine. But the design itself doesn't do anything for me. Don't like it. I do like the majority of the other weapon designs too. I like the staff, you know, the axe has a really good look to it. It's unfortunate I don't ever really get to use it. You got the sword that shoots stuff, which I think is really cool. You got a trident. You get this thing that shoots little worlds. I don't quite know what it is. You got the mace that shoots all of its spikes. And then you get this thing that just does what it does. It's real weird. It's the weirdest weapon in the bunch. It doesn't seem to fit in with all the other weapons that feel like, you know, they feel like old school weapons that would exist. That thing just seems like a big twirly, you know, thing made out of cursive lettering or something like that. I'm not super into it. But the game itself, I do like. I think it's really, really cool and well put together, to be honest. Level design looks good. I like the way the levels look. Excuse me. Let me take a swig of water here. But I will also say, you know, as cool as it is having different enemies in every part of the game, that for every enemy that you fight that looks cool, there's going to be another one that just doesn't look that great. Some of the enemy designs are not really that impressive. Like these rock guys that pop out, you got to figure, like, they're going for a 90s FPS aesthetic, which is probably why these guys look that way, which is fine. I get it. But at the end of the day, here, I gotta switch. I want to use this on this big guy. There we go. At the end of the day, though, like, I feel like they could have put a little bit more zazz into what the enemies look like. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But despite that, it doesn't stop the fact that the game is still fun. I'm still having fun with it. We got more rock guys here. This is actually a pretty cool arena area. I like this area. Alright, what do we got here? We got our sword. Let's try to take these guys out a little more quickly. This sword is, like, pretty concentrated. You can do a lot of damage with it if you're able to hit the guy, like, dead on each time. I say as I hit that guy like 6 or 7 times with it. Alright. Grab all the mana and stuff that we can here. Grab that. We're gonna grab this. And this. And we're gonna go ahead and quick save real quick here. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of this one. Oh, there we go. Mega health. That means you don't need to get any of these pickups here, because we got the full health, the mega health. Let's see. Okay, we got to go up that way. But yeah, I think that those of you who are into, say, wow, what is happening here? They were just cornering me, eating me alive. For those of you who are into Dusk and stuff like that, you know, looking for newer FPS games that feel like your old school FPS games, I think that this is going to scratch that itch pretty well for you. Look at this. Now we're outside here. This is great, but they completely changed up the way the level looks here. We started in this dark lava tomb. Oh, jeez. And now look where we are. Is he dead? No. Am I even hurting him? Yeah, I'm definitely hurting him. He's stumbling. We're gonna use this. How about that? Help a little bit more. Here's a button we gotta hit. One more to go. But yeah, I think this will scratch that itch for you, because I think it's a really fun little game. You notice how the orbs change as you shoot them. It's pretty fun. There's another button here. Sequence complete. And grab some more soul. Almost out of blue mana here. Path opens from below. Then I guess we shall go below. Let's see. What do we got left here? Just take those guys out. And we'll hit this button here. I'm gonna run from you guys and just save my mana here, I think. Screw that, and we will run through here. There we go. That's the end of the level. So, there you have it. 91% kills, 0 secrets, which is normal for me. That's kind of my thing. No awards. I spent about 20 minutes in that level, but technically you could finish it in 6, it says. So, keep that in mind. But yeah, I honestly, I said I'd play through a couple levels here, but I think that's really all we got to play through here. I think you guys are going to kind of get whether this is going to be a game for you just based on that level there. Like I said, a lot of the level design has been a lot different from what you saw there. You're not going to find as many like tight walkways and that kind of thing, you know. But I do like this game. I think that there's a lot of good stuff going on here. But I will say that there are some cons as well. The pros are it does definitely feel like an old school 90s FPS. I do think it's going to scratch that itch for you if that's what you're looking for. But you are going to get a lot of those things that came with the old 90s FPS games. So, for example, you know, you are going to get, you know, funky weapons, funky looking enemies, you know, but you, at the end of the day, you're going to, you know, and you're going to get a cryptic story too. There's not much story behind here, but you are going to get good level design. You're going to get fun gameplay. And at the end of the day, isn't that all you're really looking for? Is it, right? At least that's what I'm looking for. So I think that this is a cool buy. On top of that, you're getting 7 episodes of content for only $20. This game, it's only $20 on Steam, and you get 7 episodes. Quite a bit of content, I would say, for sure. But there you go, guys. That is a bit evil. I think it's a cool little game. You know, warts and all, I think it's fun. I definitely had fun with it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, definitely make sure, if you haven't seen it already, go check out my playthroughs of the other 2 episodes. I spent a good 2 hours playing this game a few days ago, so I think it's worth a look if you want to see more of it. I'll have a link to that in the description here for you. But of course, everybody, I want to thank you for watching. I recommend checking out A Medieval for sure. And of course, I will see you all next time on the next Quick Save Review here on GGRC. See you then.